Hello, hello, hello. I have a layout to play along with Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches. And if you've been following along with me this month, you'll know that I've been using my older Not Just for Boys Kit Club kits, and I'm totally using them in date order. So at this point, I'm up to September 2022, which is not bad. Do not get me wrong. I just like to use my stuff. Now, I have learned things so far during this series that when you get the Not Just for Boys Kit Club kits, get double papers because you end up with an amazing amount of gorgeous embellishments, cut files, acrylics, mixed media, but then again, I order everything. But you end up with a lot of extra goodies. And if you want to keep going with the papers, you need more. That's what I've learned. Now, in this particular situation, I did have double papers. So this was the Brilliance Limitless Kit, September 2022. I do have a complete unboxing for my treasures like 2 weeks ago. And let's see, really quick flip through. I've got some Bazzill cardstock, Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Lakeside paper, lots of 49 and Market. So these are the same paper. The weight is so heavy. And then I have this one. I remember using it. I thought it was so cool. So, and then of course I have scraps because scraps are fab. Okay. I have a great stencil. And guys, when I get the kits, I do get the kit, right? But I get like almost all of the a la carte, the mixed media, all that stuff. So I'm not quite sure, unless something says a la on the corner, like this does, I'm not quite sure if it was a la carte. So we have a back to school cut file. We have this piece right here. I think this was a la carte. And I think this came in a couple of different colors, this acrylic. I mean, this was in September, so work with me. Now, I don't have back to school picks I'm doing this time, so I'm gonna go ahead and totally set them aside. I think this washi is so stinking cute with the alpha on it. And it's a great shade of green. With Echo Park, you get 30 feet. You have enough washi tape, like for the rest of your life. Okay. I have a really great Nuvo, and they are vintage drops. They're matte, and this is a lovely teal shade called Emerald Isle, but it's totally more of a teal. Anywho. This gorgeous sequin mix, which is, of course, a perfect match because the gurus at Not Just for Boys got it going on. Let's see. Now, I have this alpha. It is called Sunshine from Doodlebug. And as you see, I used a ton of it. Now, when I was using it, I was trying not to use as many vowels. And I was doing things kind of on purpose like that. I used a bunch of the numbers because I'm not as into numbers, all of that. So we had at the time, our prompt for the design team was something like use an alphabet in a different way. So I went off and totally used it. So I'll see if I can get anything out of that. We'll see. If not, I have tons of alphas left over from kits right there on my desk. All right, I've got this cut file, which is incredibly usable. I'll try to get that in today. And then I've got these pieces from 49 and Market, Spectrum Sherbet, the Tidal Wave Ephemera bits. Now I know I've used a good amount, but that's what it looked like when they were full. And then in the a la carte section, I've got some great enamel dots. So clearly I have good stuff, right? The photo I'm gonna use is this one. This is my oldest daughter and her boyfriend, and they were in St. Louis for a wedding. And it was on New Year's Eve was the wedding. So pretty recent photo. Okay, let me get the sketch, which I didn't even pull up yet. I always just have the product and I make it work. So this sketch is by Alma Ross. So we've got some mixed media going on, which is fine. I have mixed media, awesome. We've got some splatters, goodies going across the top, which might be interesting. Photo here-ish, and that's fine. My daughter and Nick are facing straight ahead, so that's totally fine. Title over here. Very cool. Okay, we can make this work. So I have that. We're going to play along with that. So oh, and it's a bordered layout. And it looks kind of scuffy around the border. So, okay. Let me move the non-paper out of the way and see what kind of background I want. So this is clearly gorgeous. And ooh, and it's got like topography on it. That would be really good for fishing photos. I know. Let's see. Okay, so we have this. We have this. I really love this side. I mean, this is gorgeous, but if I do this, all we're gonna see is the grass, like for reals. Okay, I have that. And then which way I want to do, and I have this, and I have this. Okay, I'm flipping the same papers around. I meant to grab this. So if I use one of these for the background, which it seems like I should, guys, I am disheveled. I haven't scrapped in a few days and things get a little wonky. It's like you get out of practice. All right, I have this. Now, I can't remember what side I used before, but I'm kind of feeling like this side should get invoked. The only problem is I don't want to cover up how amazing everything is, even though that's what we do on layouts. All right, so photo's going to be here-ish, which is what she said to do. This has to get matted, so let's work on that. What if we mat it on this gorgeous like aqua? You won't really see like the mushrooms and stuff, which is fine, but we can mat it on that. And it looks pretty much kind of like a torn matting, so I can just chop, and I think that'll come together. Now, I do love this parakeet paper, which is going to bring in some of that greenish. I'm going to do a tiny mat with that. So kind of a thick mat and then a skinny little mat like that. I think that's our plan. Okay, I like that. So I'm bringing in some additional color. Now, we are talking about this. So I'm a little torn. Like, do I use this full, gorgeous, amazing piece? This is the one called Sprinkled as part of my photo mat, like this big, giant circly bit. Do I do that? Do I not? Do I do that? I don't know. But I'm also thinking that I can use this for day 28 as well. There's so much. So I'm not going to worry too much. Okay. So how about this piece? This is from Simple Vintage Lakeside. Love this place. I can get myself a nice bit of photo matting with that. Ooh, photo matting with this. Great. And then, ooh, and a triple photo matty kind of thing. Yes, no? Yeah, actually, I can totally photo mat like this and not have to start using this big one. Okay, I kind of like that. I'm just taking a good look at my scraps. Ooh. All right, so we totally have a triple. I'd rather do this. There we go. Same kind of thing. Triple mat, scuff up, tear. It's going to be great. Okay. That gives me a really good place to start. Look, I even have this good scrap. That would work up on those clusters. She has a cluster here, and kind of stuff across the top. I'm still working on that in my head. Not quite sure. Something will happen. All right, let me get all these things matted. I also am going to grab a piece of scrap cardstock from a previous Not Just for Boys Kit Club kit. It's just a smooth white cardstock. This is the same cardstock they cut their cut files from, just so you know. Oh, you know what I could do? You know the cut file situation that we have going on? I know, it's not a situation, but just work with me. Let's go ahead and take this out. Here's the little center bits, by the way. They're included in case you want to do something with them. So I have this, right? I'm thinking since we have this nice mixed media, like this can go across the top. That's what I was thinking because we have that big piece. Now the white is just going to go away. But what if I paint it with these Nuvo drops? And that's going to give us like some really good like textural goo going on. Hold on, I'm just getting a paintbrush, like one that I won't be traumatized if it gets a little ruined, like my super cheapy paintbrushes. So while I'm waiting, or before oh guys, I know that's a glare when you can see that whole light. Let me move it other way. Okay, still can see it. I'm a hot mess. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna just do a nice blob. Oh yeah, blobby blob. I used a lot of this before, so yeah, it's suffering a little bit. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do a quick paint on it so it has something going on, right? Oh, and when you do this, make sure to move it off because you can glue it right to your page. You can. How do I know that? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? All right, so I'm gonna just do kind of a quick, not worrying about it too much kind of situation here, just to color it up some. I think that is going to be the ticket to use this piece. I think that's super fun. Okay, a little bit here. I like that it ends like, you know, where it almost looks like a floral kind of a bit. That's kind of cute. Okay, so we have that. I know it's not momentous, but it's definitely just a little bit more interesting. And like I said, do not let it glue to your paper because it can. Go ahead and get that lifted and let it dry kind of to the side. Oh gosh, now I made a little mark on it. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Come on, there we go. And we're gonna let it dry to the side, but now it's colored up a little bit. I love it. Okay, I have that. And I also, guys, I have the stencil. Where did we put the stencil? Where is it? I have this, and I'm going to do some Nuvo through the stencil because there's lots of mixed media stuff going on. So bear with me. I just got to figure out where that's going to go. So we've got this great stencil, and of course we have the great Nuvo. So I've done this before with this stencil and with this Nuvo. I like to put Nuvo, especially if it's not just clear, right through a stencil. You've got some really nice texture, you've got dimension, you have a little something extra going on. Now, this isn't something you want to do if you're trying to hoard your Nuvo. I guess we should bring that up. But if you are good with using your product and just having yourself a time, totally go for it. Now I have my layout off to the side to dry, and I'm using that Nuvo just because it was the closest thing. And I put a dot in between each of these little clusters, and I'm using it as a tiny bit of glue to go ahead and just pop some enamel dots on, just to give it a little bit more of a zhuzh. Isn't that fun compared to the plain cut file? So let's take a look at this. I put my mixed media here, like you saw, it's already dry. It dries so quickly. And I know I have a ton here, but I didn't really know what I was going for when I started. And I realized my photo would go over it, so I'm good. We're supposed to have like title and splatters here, but I have some mixed media. Something down here that matches the here. I don't know. We have stuff. All right, so the bit up here in our sketch, Alma has all these hearts hanging down, but I've got my piece here. And yes, if you ask, Blue is taking a nap right beneath me. He is a lot. So I'm going to kind of make this even, kind of. And it's popped up on some foam. I added my little Altenew dots, trying to jazz that little element up a bit. And I think it came out pretty darn well. So there we go. Doot, doot, doot. And since I had the Nuvo out, I just used it for extra glue for the enamel dots because, you know, it was out. Okay, we have that. Let me go ahead and just get this photo cluster down, and I have torn bits on the bottom. You know, I can always bend them up a little bit. I just don't know fully what my layout's going to be yet, but I think it's cute. Okay, we have that. And this should be a little bit lower according to our sketch. So let's do that. Oh gosh, guys, it's a little bit tough when you have all these layers to know exactly where you're going. Okay. Did you guys hear him snoring? Jeez. Oh, and I looked on my Doodlebug Alphas and I realized I can get St. Louis out of this, which is amazing. So not sure where that's going yet because it has to show up maybe here on this bit, but we're going to see. Okay, I can move my very dirty stencil out of the way. Now, the next big element we have, is really big pieces and smaller pieces, etc. from the 49 Market Bit. So let's see what we have that can help tell my story a little bit. Oh, and I also have the sequins, remember guys, and a snoring dog who is literally just the loudest little guy. All right, so that can work. Kind of like wonder isn't half bad for this. Oh, I have sequins. Should I do a shaker? That's probable. Forever and always. I like these circular elements. You bring the smiles. Oh, that's a really cute title. Oh, I have green for a choice. All right, so I have all kinds of frame pieces. The best time, silly, good fun. It wasn't really silly. So let's see. I've got this like piece here. I can always do a shaker in between that. Maybe I'll do that because I have so many squared off bits. Maybe I can concentrate on smaller bits, or like, you know, slightly more circular bits. Let's see, I love tickets, so let's definitely grab some of them. A few colors of tickets would be good. And I'm looking at all of these round bits at this point because I'm liking that idea. Liking it a lot, to just add a little bit of fun movement through here. We've got this piece we can layer with a tab. You get so many pieces with this pretty, with, ooh, Strave and Brong. Brave and strong. Yes, Follow the Joy is cute. Like that. Oh, Happy Day is adorable. Okay, so we've got round things. We've got things. We've got all of the things. We have got all of the things. Okay, so I'm thinking at this point that we're going to go circular. And so now, since I've decided to go a little shakery, I've got the world's smallest bit of acetate here. I can grab more. I'm going to make some shaker pockets. Great. I like the idea of making one out of this little piece only because I've never done that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Somebody is calling and I think they're spamming me because it's not my area code. I don't think so. Okay, so I'm going to do some shaker pockets. Now, a number of people asked if I would slow down when I go to do them. People were asking, and guys, ask whatever you want, and then I will, you know, like listen to what you guys are looking for. People asked if I would slow down on when I back a cut file, when I do a shaker pocket. Is there anything else that you guys have been wanting, like a little bit of a not so quick zipping through? Because the reason why I will zip through on things is I don't want to bore you guys. Like if you've seen me do something 100 times, I don't want to be boring. But I don't ever mind slowing down. Just let me know and I will do so. So this is some double-sided adhesive. I'm just kind of going in a circular motion. Now this isn't the super important point. The important part is when I use the dimensional adhesive that is double-sided, you know, these little strip thingies. The most important part is to make sure that you have a complete well. And the reason why is if you don't, your sequins will start shimming out one by one by one. And you're going to be like, why in the heck am I going through all of this? I mean, you'll start finding them for days. And you're going to be very disappointed. Yes, you are. Now let's just pretend that this just comes off easily, which it's not. If I weren't on camera, it would. Totally would just zoop right off. So funny that this is struggling because it's all one piece, but it didn't want to come off as one piece. I'd have a really small bit of acetate. I'm going to just put it right over it and trim around it. Now, I do that a lot with roundy shapes. I don't do that as much with squared off shapes. And the reason being is, you know, squares, you can estimate just a little bit better. I'm just going to kind of cut around the circle. I could have measured how big the circle was and tried to do a circle punch, but, you know, we try to make things difficult on ourselves if we can. Guys, come on. And I know you cannot see where I'm cutting because it's clear. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab my double-sided adhesive. Now on my on my, what do you call it? It's not a tripod. I have a different kind of desk thing. I stick my Frankenstein little adhesive pieces to that. So I always start with what I have left over. And this one already has the adhesive backing off of both sides because I was already using it. It is way easier to get a nice little bend on it without the adhesive on it. You know, to be able to curve things around without the adhesive. It's totally up to you the way you like to do it. I mean, you do you. You're the boss of you. It's your room. It's your supplies. But I'm just showing you kind of what I do. I've done it in different ways. I do find if I don't take the backing off, I end up sending sequins flying everywhere when I go to take the backing off later. If I take the backing off now, like I did, then I get sequin stuck to it. So there is just no perfect solution to these things unless you just don't want to make a shaker. And then none of it is an issue. All right, so we've got our cute little sequins. Let me get my little sequin spoon. I was watching SBC Fest, guys, and Frank Garcia had the cutest little pink spoon he was using to do some of his work. I'm like, oh my gosh, he even has a cute spoon. Who has a cute spoon? Frank Garcia has a cute spoon. Of course he does. Anyway, I was jealous. Even his little scissors, like these kind, they were pink and white. I'm like, I'm sitting here watching, you know, enjoying his talent, but being like, oh, they're so cute. Okay, so I have that. I'm going to grab some offcuts of white cardstock. My adhesive is exposed on my little shaker. Go ahead and pop that right on it. I'd say burnish it down, but just squish it down nicely. Pop it over and trim around it. And we've got a shaker pocket. I'm going to repeat that a couple times. And I'll be right back. So I like kind of where this is going. So I'm going to get all of this stuff down before things go too far. After that, I think I'm going to go into my stash. Stash meaning goodies that I've already used this month in this series. Like I've got these Spectrum Sherbet Tidal Wave again, acetate leaves. And I think that's going to give me just a little extra punch. But let me get this all down. We'll talk about what's currently in my kit, and then if I need to add things, I'll add things. So I have all of these pieces down. I think it's really cute. It kind of looks like Alma Sketch. Totally tried to be like Alma Sketch. That's all I can tell you. So I'm wondering, anytime I have these circular shapes, I'm always wondering, like, does St. Louis fit around it? Will it work? I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Like I said, it's, wait, S? I can't do St. Louis, guys. I can't. I have one S. Yes, I do. That was going to work, and now it's not going to work. I could do St. Louis, but not St. Louis. All right, I've got to think about a title. So I'm going to try to do a little title here. I've got a nice bit of mixed media. It might show up. It does not have to be super bold. Not a big deal. All right, so I wrote love this. Barely even shows up in real life, so it's really not going to show up on camera. Not a big deal. I'm just happy I used extra alphas. This set has these cute little white hearts as well. There's 2 of them. I'm going to go ahead and put them in my other clusters. They're itty bitty. These are not super sticky, so I may end up needing, there we go, just a little bit of adhesive behind them. That's fine. A lot of times when I'm done with the layout, I go back through with liquid adhesive and just kind of plop it everywhere. So we have that. You can clearly see these little guys because they're my shakers. Okay, I have that. So I've used lots of pattern paper. I've used the die cuts. I have used the Nuvo. Clearly we use sequins, enamel dots. We've used the stencil. Did not use the washi again. So this went really well. Now the back to school die cut doesn't really work for this, or the back to school acrylic. Okay, this point I want to go in and see what other goodies I have. Oh, and I have lots of enamel dots. So I'm going to see if any of these acrylics, oh, the Fun actually would have worked, except for now I don't have room. Okay, I have these metal things with little books. It doesn't have to have stuff that works. I just like looking. Splash is so cute. I love this reed. Oh, those might work, guys. Look at these in this aqua, some hexies. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna think about that. But I wanna get some of these acetate pieces brought out. Guys, there are so many. These came with 54 acetate pieces. So we've got butterflies, which really not feeling the butterflies because this was like in the winter and quite frankly, they'd be dead. You know, so let's see if we just bring, oh, yep. Just a little bit of acetate leaves into our clusters. I wanna try to find the ones that are a little bit more aqua-y, because you know that's a word. So I literally might be going right over where it says loves this. Yep, I am. So the love this is being chopped. The love this is no longer applicable because I like the leaves. So best of times looks like it is our title. Thank goodness I did not glue these down because I love the leaves so much. It is how, so when I speed up, guys, and you don't see the stuff in between, you don't have to watch this like faffing around I do, going, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Okay, so do you guys see another one that's kind of teal-y? And I don't know, I might have to totally trim. There are butterflies shooting everywhere. I might have to like super trim one of these kind down to make it work. All right, so let me see if I clip this. Boop. Well, that didn't work with my boop because I didn't see that there was like this whole like extra little acetate-y like piece right here. Okay, so I'm going to just trim that. Nobody cares. It's probably going to be tucked under in a moment. Okay. So I'm just trying to build out over this piece with this little bit. Oh yeah, I'm totally shoving under that whole piece that I just trimmed out. Okay, I have that, like that, I like. Now, normally I will plop a butterfly everywhere, but I was totally feeling like the poor little butterflies don't make it this time of year. Okay, I like that. I like all these leafy bits I'm starting to get everywhere. So I'm thinking that might be enough because now it's just becoming like a big old leaf festival. Okay, like that. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, we've got the green, we've got the stuff. I put a little bit of green there. Now I'm like, do I need green? Like the greener anywhere else? Probably don't because I have plenty. But here we are. The reason why I'm trimming these smaller pieces is because the stuff is so pretty that, you know, I'll get more bang for my buck out of it. Okay, so I really liked adding that. Now, this color, it's a little bit more into the seafoam, which very favorite color. I'm not going to use it because it's just enough off that I'm like, don't think so. All right, so we have that. I'm gonna go ahead and tack down the acetate. Then I think I'm gonna just zhuzh up the rest with a few enamel dots and a few sequins. So I'll be back in a second. Let me do that off camera because it's kind of boring. And one does not like to bore you guys too much. And I'll be back and I'll show you the finished layout. And then of course, guys, I'll have links down below for the Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches, month-long hop, and the Not Just for Boys Kit Club site, all of that kind of stuff. But let me do a little bit of the busy work. Oh guys, it was even tilted. So I went a little heavy with a bunch of the Nuvo around circular bits as well. And I have my sequins, I have enamel dots. I used all of my fun circular bits because even right here on the tag, because I didn't have any little words to put in, I'm gonna have that really nice dimension that you get with Nuvo. So little bits, they're super wet, so I'm trying not to touch anything, but you see right here, sequins, enamel dots, so super fun. So that is what I have for you guys today. I will go ahead, have the links down below, still shots to follow, all of that kind of stuff. And guys, I'll see you guys ever so soon with another video. Bye for now. Still shots right there. Bye guys.